Welcome back, everyone listening in. It is day two at start of day. It is day two here at Deep Tech Lounge, and I have the pleasure to be having Margus, Sarap, and Helena with us here today for meid to talk a little bit about Deep Tech Brilliance. We're going to talk a little bit about patents. We're going to talk a little bit about technology, AI, and different topics that I think are very dear to all of the people here in the audience and the startup founders that are creating. Before we get started, I would like to have our two panelists introduce themselves and tell us a little bit more about what you do. So Margus, please go ahead.
Hello everybody. My name is Margus Sarap and I am European and Estonian patent attorney working in this field now, I think 33 years.
A little bit of experience.
Yes, that means I have in the low end of beginning of invention, it means I try to help inventors to get the right way. And as today's topic is one of such kind of things what they must understood, then I am here now.
Brilliant.
Hi, I'm Helena from Enterprise Estonia, and my official job description is I'm Technology Intelligence Officer, which means I help companies find information. So whether it's looking through patents or scientific literature, that's what I help them with.
Fantastic. All right, so diving in straight into the topic of today, right? I'm curious, we've heard a lot of buzzwords over the past couple of years, right? Especially since the kind of rise of GPT-4 as well, of what's like AI, what's intelligence, how companies work with it, how do they handle data, sometimes a little bit too fancy for what the technologies actually are. I wanted to know, how would you two define technology intelligence in the context of like generating new ideas and ideas development?
When I received preliminary question, I thought about these topics, and I think this technology intelligence is how smart you are to know what is done already in the world and in what direction you need to move. For example, if you choose wrong direction, you make these patent searches, whatever, and you see that it is already covered, you choose another one. And this means you need to be intelligent in your field to know what is done. I think I try to, at least to myself, to figure out what it means by technology intelligence, because most or big part of this is knowing and reading patent documentations.
How do you see that, Elena?
I mostly agree. But in the current world, we tend to focus on the technology part. But the intelligence doesn't cover only what we see as technology, but it is understanding your own field. Who are your competitors, what they are doing. It doesn't have to be only technological. It covers a lot wider field.
And back to what you were saying, Margus, like how do you see that change over the last few years, with the rapid developments in technology? And
of course, there is a big change. If, for example, you look for our patent application filed in European Patent Office, or let's say the topics what are talked about now about patent, AI patents, can AI be inventor, how we can protect them. It's moved a lot of. There are a lot of questions, and there is already some solutions. For example, AI cannot be inventor, because for me, always behind of AI is human. Somebody must teach the AI how to work, and who is behind of that? Not at the moment, not AI, luckily. Yeah. So there are movement. For example, even figure out these patent documentation fields. AI gives you a lot of possibilities to do searches more quicker, analyze them more quicker, and to have results more quicker. And that's most important at the moment, I think.
So actually diving into that, I kind of wanted to move towards what are some of the common challenges that we're now experiencing, especially around idea generation and kind of searches with the rise of AI? Like, what are some of the biggest problems that you see companies you work with face?
No, first, I see, let's say, in the very ground level, I see that sometimes the companies are afraid how much I can explain, for example, to IE what I have to develop. It means stealing of idea. But then again, idea is not protectable. Everybody knows. You need to figure out some kind of technical solution. So again, how much I can tell to AI that I would like to search in this field, what is done. It is, you need to find some balance here. And you, sometimes my feeling is you must be afraid that don't speak too much, because everybody knows before application is not filed, it is kept a secret.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot yesterday from some of our other panelists as well, that in that sense you don't want to reveal too much before patenting. What about you, Helena? Like, a lot of the companies that you work with and that come to you in the scope of AIS, like, what are some of the biggest or most common challenges that you see these days?
I think one of the challenges is that with the development and AI tools being more common, companies do many searches themselves. But with AI, it's just a tool. So it does what you tell it to do. And if you don't use the correct words, then you don't get the right answers. And especially with patents use really specific wording. And you need to know the wording.
It's the output is only going to be as good as the input that you give it, right?
Exactly.
Yes, exact keywords. I have in my experience with my colleagues, for example, we searched one field of techniques and he made a lot of minutes, hours. And then he asked, can you help me? Okay, I put the keywords and with 5 minutes, there, patents, what I see. So again, you can use AI, but you need to teach them, or not teach them, but you need to use right keywords. And for companies who are making innovation and they try to read patent documents, I urge them to read claims. It's the most difficult part, yes, I know, but there is what is protected. And if I advise companies, applicants, try to get the protection as broad as possible, it must be so.
So in that sense, you're not remotely close to using your job to AI, right? There's still a lot of experience and expertise that comes from understanding what are the keywords, you know, how to do the searches so that you find what you're looking for.
Yes, and of course you need to prepare that the patent offices also started to use AI for example, for patent searches. I knew that EPO has quite a big initiative to use AI in preliminary patent searches. So you need to prepare that the machines are calm. They search, there are results, and you must survive with these results. So sometimes it's dangerous. And I also see that it can be that after some years, even you will get the examination report from patent office made by AI. I don't know. Maybe it may happen. It only depends how much patent offices would like to use it. And I see that they try to use it.
I kind of wanted to dive a little bit into data sources and how do you effectively integrate as organizations, you know, data sources and insights from technology and intelligence to kind of enhance and develop that idea development process, right? Like it's great that people can do it on their own, but I think there's loads of other ways in which you can enhance that and like increase the efficiency potentially.
Well, one way to get the have the data source is actually to come to Enterprise Estonia. We give you 5 hours free consultations for it. Next is to visit Margus and ask him.
No, yeah, it's you need to think out of box. I think in also when you're creating your searching for your ideas. Of course, I always say to the inventors, there are free databases. Please use them before. At the moment, this search is made very good manner, so you can find them. Of course, there are databases or search companies offering search, but sometimes it's quite big money in the beginning if you are in a startup. So you need to, again, you go to AIS, 5 hours, it's plenty of time. With 5 hours, you can search all word, I think. No, it's a joke, but still, 5 hours is quite a big amount of minutes. And then if there are specialists in AIS who knows how to search in this field, you can get results very quickly.
But in that sense, like, let's say, in order to be able, because that's interesting for founders here as well, like, in order to use those 5 hours, like, proactively, like, what do you need to do before? Like, how do those startups figure out the steps to put in place in the research to do before actually going to AS?
Really quickly. Today at 1, I'm going to talk about it at the seminar room 5.
Brilliant.
But really quickly, understand what the item is you're coming to us. So disassemble the item, see the key points of it, and know it. Then come to us.
And from my side, time to time I have made some services pro bono, let's say. I try to see first step inventor or company, and what is the most important to figure out what is really you are inventing. It's idea or there is technical solution. So it's sometimes the problem is not that I am company startup. I fixed in my black box. But then I come to the patent attorney or like me, and he tries to tell me that please open this box a little bit and look around. So to be more open and to figure out what is really search, what is really the technical problem what you're solving. It's not just you put telephone and alcotester together. This is idea, but where is the problem, real problem, technical problem. And if you figured out this real technical problem, this will help you move. And it's the same for investors. If they come, they must understand what is really behind of this new idea.
Thank you for that. It clarifies things a little bit. I kind of want to move towards how does AI help in like tailoring new ideas to meet like specific market needs or customer demands? And I kind of want to use a bit of an analogy of something I've experienced like recently. So we were looking to do like a new logo for a project that I've been working on, and trying to explain to the designer what we wanted with that logo was such a pain. It took us weeks back and forth, email, took literally like 7 weeks to try to get something that like, you know, relatively resembles what we were looking for. Put the prompt in GPT, you know, using DALL-E for like an actual logo generation, all done by AI, and within 5 minutes I had something that was much closer than what I had been talking to a human to try to get for weeks. And so if you kind of bring that back to other specifications, like how do you see being able to use AI not kind of to replace the human or to replace the designer that will end up making the product, but for them to understand what it is that you're actually looking for, maybe somehow quicker or in a better way than other humans can do when you try to explain it?
I think you need to use AI also. It's for example, if AI is made for you good looking logo and you are satisfied, good, why not? But you need to use everything, I think. And yes, I know it's time to time it's difficult to explain to other people what you want, and it means they are not thinking in the same level. They are not thinking in the same level. And if you feel that the AI is thinking in the same level, use it. But still, you know that there is some. I can imagine that situation that you just sit down and you do nothing and AI is doing everything for you. It's not also a solution, I think.
Sure, 100%.
With AI, you need to understand that it is basing the outcome on something. So the novelty of the invention or the creation is really questionable. It gets ideas from somewhere.
Of course.
But if you want to gather information, gather what's out there, then it's a really good tool. I use it for the copywriter materials basically all the time.
Just one remark for AI. For example, you're using AI for designing your logo. What is AI doing? AI is looking for around and comparing and so, and then it's good logo, and to say, oh, okay, let's go to the patent office register trademark, and then suddenly, oh, there is already the same logo here. So be aware about that, because AI is collecting information what is publicly available.
That's good to keep in mind as well, that it might sort of in some way speed up like idea collection, but because it is always working of databases that already exist, it is pulling that info from somewhere. So it's interesting to know on the startup side. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about ethical considerations and things to keep in mind as well when we're talking about AI and idea development, or like more ways in which you use data in like sensitive sectors, right? So for a lot of like companies in deep tech that are working like with health tech, like some of the founders we had yesterday on stage, like it can be sometimes sensitive. How do you deal with that, especially when it comes to like patents and things?
Yes, I when I look this question, you must be careful, because especially in healthcare, I knew that nowadays AI is used for, let's say, to substitute clinical test. It means, or you figure out a new molecule and you want very quickly to understand will this molecule work or not. You can use AI, but again, I'm not 100% sure that the outcome what this AI is giving to is reliable. Still, you need to do clinical test on the humans also, I think. So yes, it will help you a lot, but still you need to keep in mind that it is not 100% guarantee that your molecule will work. You never know. World or nature is changing, and it is not programmed in this AI.
Also, you need to keep in mind that if you're using outside AI, so Google's, Microsoft, whoever else's, the data you're giving it now also belongs to that Google, Microsoft, or whatever else. So if you're dealing with medical data, you shouldn't be sharing it around. And it also includes if you're dealing with your own intellectual property. Don't give it away to an AI.
In that sense, like how much do you encounter these conversations with startups and founders that come to AS?
Luckily, because we often are the ones who introduce them to the world of intellectual property, they haven't thought about it yet. So we can start with the conversation that, if you haven't thought about it yet, please don't tell your trade secrets to everyone. But it is a topic, and many companies are out there who have come to us because they now have discovered that, I want to protect something. And but we've talked about it on trade fairs and other places and investors, and that's not going to be the one thing that we're going to protect now.
I guess I kind of want to wrap up and close with an open question to both of you. So for a lot of the people listening in and some of the founders that might be considering patenting, let's say some of their IP or like trade secrets, like what are some of the things that generally founders don't think about, that when they come to you, it feels like a big shock or realization that there's certain elements that they really need to keep in mind? Like, so what are some of those, let's say, more unknown elements that generally people don't think about?
Yeah, I think in the first step, you need to understand that nobody will tell you anything bad if you file application, even if this application will not get a patent. I had my good friend in Norwegian when he worked in oil pumping industry, it means, and they just filing preliminary as his first application, just to keep in the track. So you can file application and nobody will tell you that it's bad. No, it's up to you. I can file every day, of course. But then again, it's a big problem to figure out what is really you are doing. And in some fields, for example, the protecting is not the good strategy. You need to fill market, collect the money, and next year, next idea or next solution. For example, all these apps. It's apps industry to protect something and to fight with big telecom or computer companies. It doesn't work. Just sell yourself for everybody.
How do you see this, Helena?
Yeah, I think really important is to figure out the strategy first and then go out with your product. So if you know you're going to keep something as a trade secret, you need to know it before you talk about it. If you're planning to have a patent, figure out what is that needs to be patented, what is the thing that is easy to understand from outside how you did it. If you can keep it a secret, keep it a secret.
And also one comment, there is also word without patents. It means you can protect yourself, you disclose everything. It means for you, everybody can use it, but nobody can harm you because this solution is public and you cannot protect what is already published. So it's one way. You just go open and you have your market share somewhere, and it is.
Thank you so much for your time, Margus, and for your insights. Thank you, Helena.
Thank you.
And then see you later.